Okay, shalom, shalom. So today we will be studying the parsha for Vayeshev, the parsha for Vayeshev, and it's Genesis 37:1 through 40:23, and then the Haftarah is Amos 2:6 through 3:8. And it starts out with he dwelt or settled. Okay. So let's get started. All right. So I'm just going to read the very beginning part of the portion, verses 1 through 5. So if you can follow along with me. Now, Jacob was settled in the land where his father had sojourned, the land of Canaan. This is the account of Jacob's family, its family line. Joseph, a young man of 17, was tending the flocks with his brothers, the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And he brought their father a bad report about them, about his brothers. Now, Israel loved Joseph more than any of his other sons because he had been born to him in his old age, and he made an ornate robe for him. When his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of them, they hated him and could not speak a kind word to him. Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more. So, what we're going to be talking about, we're not really going to go, much. We're not going to read too many more scriptures pertaining to that, other than we're going to really look at the jealousy that led to hate, how his brothers hated Joseph, and everything that happened as a result of that jealousy and that hate. So we're going to talk about the evil eye here. So evil eye, ayin hara, is actually jealousy. Okay. The evil eye is wanting what is not yours to have. So Jacob even stopped Yosef from relating his dreams to his brothers to not incite the brothers to jealousy against Yosef. And it's sometimes really important to not say everything to everybody, everything going on in your life. Sometimes it's really important not to say everything, because you really don't know what everybody's heart is. If they have a good heart towards you, or if they don't have a good heart towards you. Some people we can tell, but we can't always tell. And so Yosef has this dream about himself, the stars and the sun and the moon and the sheaves, that are bowing down to him, and basically that he's going to be elevated. And I didn't write the verse down, but Jacob stops him. It's like, stop. Am I and your mother going to bow down to you also? Are we going to serve you? And worse yet, at that point, Rachel had already passed. So it's like, what are you talking about? It's like Rachel's already passed, and here he's talking about the sun and the moon are going to bow down to you. The sheaves. At first, the first story was about the sheaves, the brothers bowing down to him, but then the second dream is about the sun and the moon and the stars, and they're bowing down to him. So he's like, wait, what's going on here? At first, when it was about the brothers, he didn't stop him then. But when it's about him and Rachel, it's like, we got to stop there. Plus, your mom's not even alive. So what are you talking about? But it also says that Jacob held on to that. He remembered it to see what was going to happen. Was this for the future? At first he stops him because he doesn't want to incite more hatred and more jealousy, because he could already see it in his sons towards Yosef. So kina, that's jealousy. Kina, jealousy, is introduced in the scriptures to the world from the very beginning of time. We see it with the snake. The snake is jealous of Adam and Hava, and with the authority that they have in the garden, and how God is loving them. So what does he do? He entices Hava, come and have of this fruit. Come on, come and have of this fruit. So he tricks her, right? But it's a jealousy, because he wants what they have and he can't have it. The same thing that we see it with Cain and Abel. This jealousy. You liked my brother's offering, you don't like mine, and he ends up killing his brother. So the jealousy leads to murder. We see Rachel and Leah and the story about the mandrakes. And Leah is upset. He's like, he doesn't get, he's not giving me the attention that I want. So you know what? I'll buy my time with him by giving you these mandrakes. Okay. And so you see that jealousy again, rearing its head. And in the story of Yosef, when Yosef is sold by his brothers, it starts out with Reuben, because Reuben's the oldest. He's the oldest, and the oldest son should be the one that is blessed more than the others, because he's the oldest son. Okay, that's how the scriptures worked. But we see in the scriptures that even when Jacob has talked about his sons, he talks about Yosef as his son. And he doesn't really even mention the other ones, because Yosef was from Rachel and not Leah. I mean, what am I saying? Yeah. So he's giving more attention to Yosef than to the others. Okay. And then we see it also with the story in Esther of Haman and Mordecai. And there's that jealousy. Haman wants, what authority Mordecai has with the people, being in the gates, and the people are going to him to make judgments. And, everything that he does in the entire Esther Purim story is motivated by this jealousy. I want what Haman has. What Mordecai has. So Haman, that jealousy ends up becoming this hate, ends up becoming the desire to murder. Okay, the desire to kill, to get what you want, to get what he wants. So kina, jealousy. I thought this was really cool. Kina is spelled Kuf Nun Aleph Hey, and it has a gematria of 156 when you break down all the letters. The gematria of Yosef is also 156. The gematria of Tzion is also 156. So how are they related? What is the importance of them all having the same gematria? So what is said is that kina, jealousy, played a central role in Yosef's life. And the Midrash said that all that happened to Yosef will also happen to Tzion, okay, to Zion. So that jealousy that Yosef experienced, Zion experiences, Israel experiences, okay? So the opposite of jealousy is being satisfied, being content. So Pirkei Avot 4:1 says, the opposite of jealousy is satisfied or contentment, happy with your portion. When Esav bragged about all of his possessions to Yaakov in last week's Torah portion, Yaakov answered, I have everything, according to Bereshit 33:11, which Rashi explains to me, I have enough. I don't need any more, basically. I've got everything. That was what Yaakov responded to Esav. I have everything. While Esav is bragging about all of his possessions, Yaakov's saying is, I have enough. I have everything. And that's the attitude that basically we all should be having all the time, being satisfied with what we have. Because when we're satisfied, our eyes aren't looking for, what else can I get? What else can I have? Or that person has and I don't have. Oops. I did that one. I went too far. Sorry, guys. Jealousy and envy. It was really strange. As I was studying this, it's like jealousy and envy are almost seen as exactly the same thing. Okay. Some places you would look up a definition, you'd want to look up jealousy and it would take you to envy and vice versa. And even when I tried to look up the definition in Unger's Bible dictionary, when I tried to look up jealousy, all it would take me to was, the Torah portion pertaining to jealousy of a man, being jealous for his wife and that whole story pertaining to that. So Proverbs, let me go here. Proverbs 14:30 says, a tranquil heart is life to the body, but jealousy is rottenness to the bones. So if you think about the bones, what do the bones do for us? They help us to walk, they help us to move, they help us to stand straight, they help us to sit, they help us to move our head, they help everything about our movement has to do with our bones. Okay. And if you have that jealousy within you, it kind of paralyzes you where you're not able to move. And I'm talking spiritually here. You're not able to move the way you need to. You're not able to function and progress in your walk with God while you have that in you. Okay, because it's actually bringing that rottenness into how you stand, into how you move, into how you even just turn your head to look at things. But most important, just you can't function properly because it does affect us physically. So jealousy and envy, one of the things I read, is derived from the fact that someone feels they deserve more in life and can't find it within themselves to be happy for those blessed differently than they are. So jealous, it's resentment. One of the definitions I read is resentment against a rival. And the sad thing is sometimes a person doesn't even know that they're a rival. A person success, or advantage, characterized by or proceeding from suspicious fears or envy. Then Unger's Bible Dictionary pertaining to envy said that discontented and mortified feeling that arises in the selfish heart in view of the superiority of another, nearly tantamount to jealousy. That malignant passion which sees in another qualities which it covets and hates their possessor. It's ill will, malice, spite. It's accompanied by every evil work. It always desires and often strives to degrade others, not so much because it aspires after elevation, as because it delights in obscuring those who are more deserving. So here I want to talk to you about a little, just a interesting little occurrence, I guess, that used to always happen. There was a couple, and my husband and I used to get together with them when we were first married, and it was so interesting because it was like the husband in that couple always seemed to be competing with Michael. Michael wasn't even aware that it was happening. He was just like, yeah, he's just kind of strange. Yeah, he's just kind of different. And this person, be competing and talking, bragging about what he had or whatever. And it was funny because you're watching this and you're just like, what are you doing? Why is he doing that? I remember his wife used to get so upset and basically tell him, stop. What are you doing? And it was this weird competition that was going on, only Michael didn't realize that there was a competition going on. He just thought the guy was kind of strange, that he liked to, brag and stuff. It was so weird because sometimes when there is jealousy and envy, you have no clue that it's going on. You just, you don't really pay attention to those signals that somebody is wanting something that you have, but they want. So jealousy, kina, covetousness. So jealousy may be derived from insecurity and fear, envy. Emotions congruent with jealousy are anger and resentment. The word jealousy stems from Latin and Greek, which have to do with a zeal, but its root connotes to boil, to ferment, or yeast. It's just rising and rising. Jealousy manifests through fear that what we have is being threatened or taken away. Now, we read in the scriptures pertaining to jealousy that, this husband is fearful that his wife may be with somebody else, an adult, she may be committing adultery, right? So, that fear that he feels, the male feels threatened, why is my wife, with somebody else? And it may be totally unfounded, but they have that fear. And basically that happens not just with spouses and relationships. It can also be in other things, a jealousy, at work. Well, he's got this position that I want, and then when I was working, with the schools, and even when I was working with the government, it was really interesting because you would see that being played out constantly, in the office, where you could tell that this one was jealous of this one because that one got the position. So all of a sudden there's another person that has that same jealousy, and suddenly they become best buddies, and they're both not liking the one that supposedly has the position that they both feel they should have. But you've got this angry, upset alliance over here because this person got the position that they wanted. So it manifests in different ways. It's not just about marriage. It can be about, a neighbor having something that you don't have. And, like that saying, the grass is always greener on the other side. Oh, look, I want what they have. Well, you know what? You have no idea what they really have. You just see, a surface thing. You really don't know what's, beneath the surface. So Psychology Today talked about jealousy, and it said jealousy is a complex emotion that encompasses feelings ranging from suspicion to rage to fear to humiliation. Jealous people can behave in ways that are unreasonable or even dangerous. Envy occurs between only two people and is best summed up as, I want what you have. So, with that in mind, the brothers wanted what they saw Joseph had. It was the coat of many colors. It was what they perceived as their father loving him more. A special place, being treated differently. So all those things that Joseph had, the brothers wanted. It's like, I want what you have. I want that. I want that for me. And you got all these group of brothers going, oh, we don't like him. Let's deal with him. We don't like him. Because they're all feeling the same way, because Jacob treated Joseph differently. So Jerusalem Talmud, Avodah Zarah 3:1 says, he who chases after glory and honor flee from him. And I put that there because it's that jealousy also can be because, oh, that person has some kind of glory. That person is put in a place of honor and is treated in an honorable way. I want that. But as long as you're chasing it, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. That person has put in the work, and that's why they're being, blessed and honored. But you have no idea how they've toiled that land or that, job or that relationship. You have no idea what they've gone through to get to where they're at. Being happy when others are blessed. And I feel like that is one of the most important things in life. I remember my mom always told us, be happy. Be happy when somebody, wins. Be happy when somebody wins. And it was a baseball game. Oh, be happy because they won. You didn't win? Okay, be happy for the ones that won. That way everybody's happy. That way you got all these friends, and you can be friends with the ones that won, even though you lost. Excuse me. Be happy, for that person that's being blessed. Being a support, like Yitro. We see that Yitro was a support for Moshe. For Moshe when he's leading. It was hard work. It was hard work. But Yitro could have gone, hey, head of your group. Let me be the head of your group. But no, he saw the Lord doing this with Moshe. I'm going to help him because this is really hard for him. I'm going to help him, and I'm going to tell him, you know what? This is what you need to do. You need to set up some leaders that are going to help you so that you can continue to be blessed, so that everybody ends up being blessed. So Joseph was blessed because he would eventually be placed in a position to help his brothers. Granted, the brothers didn't see it at the time. So we don't always understand why we're moved into different positions in life. But through hindsight, we realize it was God placing us in those positions to help others. One of the guys in our congregation is so cool because he got into this position at work, and he was so thrilled because he said, I feel like I'm in this position to help others. And he's been able to help other people to also get jobs. But he's also been able to help, in the shipments of, what goes to Israel. And he was so thrilled because he said, I knew it. I knew the Lord was putting me in this position because eventually I would help my Jewish brothers. I would be able to bless them. So, we don't always know why somebody is being put in those positions, but we have to always be supportive. We always have to go, you know what? Thank God, and rejoice with those that are put in those positions. And not be selfish and golly, well, I didn't get that. Why is this happening to me? That's getting your eyes on yourself. Get your eyes off yourself and just, be happy for those that are being blessed. And that was the thing with Yosef's brothers. They couldn't do that. They were so upset. They were incensed by the way their father treated them differently than Yosef and Benjamin, because Benjamin was a baby. They were being treated differently, and that upset them. But also, it's like, these dreams you're having, we're going to serve you. You're already treated differently, and now we're going to end up serving you. Oh, you know what? This is too much. Let's sell this guy. Let's get rid of him. And it was just this selfishness of not looking within themselves to go, you know what? I'm happy where I'm at. I'm blessed where I'm at. My father is in a great position, and I'm getting to work. I'm getting to get married and have kids, and look what a blessing. I get to take care of my father's sheep. They missed all that because they were so selfish, jealous of what their brother was getting, which they thought they deserved. So these scriptures all have to do with something pertaining to want, to desiring. So your shepherd, the Lord is my shepherd. Psalm 23:1. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Why? Because the shepherd, the Lord, is providing everything for us. And that didn't just, go for David, who was the king, who became the king, I should say. But that pertains to us every day of our life. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want, because he's taking care of me. I don't have to want for anything. I don't have to desire for anything, because he's taking care of me. He will provide my food. He will provide my mortgage, my rent, my taxes. He will provide. So we're so blessed. And we constantly should be just going, we are so blessed. I'm satisfied because the Lord just wraps his arms around me, takes care of me and my family, and we don't have to worry about anything. He's there for us to take care of all of our needs. Lo estar is what the word is in Hebrew. To lack, to be without, to decrease, to diminish, to have a need. So he's saying, I shall not lack. I shall not be without. I shall not diminish. In other words, I'm not going to get smaller. I will have no need, because the Lord is my shepherd. He knows everything we need before we even need it. That's been something like for myself and Michael, my husband, that we're we're just so blessed, and we see it all the time, that so, he'll sell something. It's like, all right, what a blessing. This money came in. And, you know, um, we know that that usually means if money comes in, there's probably going to be a bill that's coming in, and we just don't know about the bill yet. And it's happened over and over again that the Lord provides the money, and it's right there for when we need it. And it's just a neat way to live, because it's like he is showing us constantly, you don't need to worry. I'm there for you. I'm taking care of you. I'm providing for you. So in 1 Corinthians 12:26, it says, if one member suffers, all suffer together. If one member is honored, all rejoice together. And that's how it's supposed to always be. Hey, in our congregation, oh, this person, this great thing happened for this person. Let's all rejoice. Let's all be happy. Oh, this one is suffering. This one's going through something. Okay, let's pray. We got to pray for this person. We got to pray, and see, what needs to be done. But it's a community. And in Judaism, that's so huge. Everything is about community. Everything is about brothers and sisters and looking after each other and rejoicing when the good happens and crying with them when the bad happens. Isaiah 58:11 says, and the Lord will guide you continually and satisfy your desire in scorched places and make your bones strong. And you shall be like a watered garden, like a spring of water whose waters do not fail. And I thought this was real important, and I forgot to highlight it, but it says your bones are strong. And what do we see? The jealousy, basically weakens your bones. Well, when you recognize, that God is giving you everything and providing for you and guiding you, he'll satisfy your desires and make your bones strong. We won't have a problem walking with the Lord. We won't have a problem moving forward with God, because we know that he is there providing and taking care of us. Ezekiel 7:19 says, riches can't satisfy. They cast their silver into the streets, and their gold is like an unclean thing. Their silver and gold are not able to deliver them in the day of wrath of the Lord. They cannot satisfy their hunger or fill their stomachs with it, for it was a stumbling block of their iniquity. So it doesn't matter. I mean, and we hear this all the time. Some people are so rich, and yet they're so sad. They're so miserable. So the riches don't satisfy. What satisfies is the word. What satisfies is the Lord. You got to stop looking around for what's going to satisfy you. Get in the word, and you're going to be really satisfied, because the word starts feeding your spirit, feeding your soul even. And we need that constantly, because that's where our treasure is. The word is our treasure. This material stuff, that's all going to pass away. We used to say a long time ago, it's all going to burn. In the end, it all just burns up. But you know what? The word is forever. And that word is, as long as you have it within you, that's what's going to satisfy you. That's what's going to fill you. That's what's going to give you life. So be content, be happy, be satisfied. Luke 12:15 says, and he said to them, take care and be on your guard against all covetousness, For one's life does not consist in the abundance of his possessions. Philippians 4:11 says, not that I'm speaking of being in need, for I have learned in whatever situation I'm to be content. I've always loved that scripture. Just be happy in whatever situation you're in. Isaiah 55:1. Come, everyone who thirsts, come to the waters, and he who has no money, come, buy and eat. Come, buy wine and milk without money and without price. Because God's going to give it to you. God's going to provide. God's going to provide that milk, that, that Torah that we need. So enough. Proverbs 38:19. Keep falsehood and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches, but give me only my daily bread. Otherwise, I may have too much and disown you and say, who is the Lord? Or I may become poor and steal, and so dishonor the name of my God. People always, I hear people say, give us our daily bread, but why? Don't give me more. Don't give me less. Don't give me more that I'll become so rich that I forget you and think I don't need you because I'm doing it on my own. But don't let me be poor where I'm going to just give you, Lord, a bad name by stealing and dishonoring you as God. So that's where give us our daily bread comes from. That it's just give me enough to satisfy me for that day. Just, and we saw that, in when the manna and the quails were given in the desert to the children of Israel. It's like, just take enough for one day. Don't take more. You don't need to take less. Just take enough for one day to eat. Why? God's going to provide the next day something fresh and something new. And just go, this is good. This is enough for me for today. I don't need any more. And the ones that tried to keep and get extra, what happened? It would get bad. So just give us enough for today. Let today take care of itself, that the Lord will provide for that day. Jeremiah 9:22. Thus said God, let not the wise glory in their wisdom, let not the strong glory in their strength, let not the rich glory in their riches. And Romans 12:15, rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep. Be there for each other. Be there for each other and rejoice when somebody is elevated. Rejoice when somebody is blessed. Oh, this person had a baby. This person got a higher position. They got elevated at work. Rejoice with those that are blessed. Rejoice, for whatever the situation is. Always, if you can remember, hopefully remember, the movie of the Fiddler on the Roof, and Tevye is like, just he's so happy. He's so happy, and he's basically, I know you're taking care of everything. He wants a little more just so that he can have time to read the scriptures and to study all these, with the sages. That's his desire, but he wants to be there also for everybody, in the community. And the last thing, so Joseph ended up, according to the Gemara, he ended up living to 110 years. So the gematria of 110, the word miracle, nes, is also 110. So, everything about Joseph was miracles, but it was also about this constant jealousy, that others were jealous of him. But in the end, him and his brothers were reunited in Egypt. And he wept with his brothers. He wept with his brothers because at last, he could bless his brothers. There were so many things that I read about the number of years and the way things happened in Joseph's life. Because Joseph, he didn't always do things, the right way. And so the things that happened to him in life were just kind of like a breaking. It was just constantly like a breaking that was happening to him. Even the fact that, he ends up in prison, being thrown into a pit, and all those things, they break him into the person he needed to be. The person that God would elevate to a position of helping his brothers. So we're made in the image of God, and in that image, there's no room for jealousy. We're children. When we're children, we all start out with jealousy because we're all so self-centered, and there's a joke in our household about the babies have all the power, because when a baby cries, everybody runs to the baby, and the baby, whatever, it's, all this attention given to babies, and all babies are like that. So they're just so self-centered, and as they start getting older, there's a little bit of rebellion, because it's like, you're not getting as much attention. Or another little baby comes, younger brother or sister come into the picture, and all of a sudden, all the attention is diverted to the newborn baby. And the older one tends to be, a little jealous. It's like, hey, what's going on? You're not giving me the attention I need. And, we see that constantly being played out. Babies think the world revolves around them because we jump when little kids, are in need. We are catered to by our moms, we're catered to by our dads, and even our older brothers help us, our older brothers and sisters, our older siblings help us out when we're little. And we therefore think that the world owes us. But hopefully maturity comes, and after a few falls, we see that we are not the center of the world. And we begin seeing how small we are in light of the huge world and God's great plan. So, I've been saying this for the last few weeks about Gamzu Letova. And that's how we have to be. This too is for good. No matter what the situation is, and no matter, who we see being elevated and who we see being blessed, don't instantly put yourself in the picture and make it about you. Just Gamzu Letova. This too is for good. Thank you, Lord, for blessing that person, because we want to see other people blessed, because their blessing also affects us, because we get to rejoice. We get to feel that joy when we see other people being blessed. And that's how it should be. I get to be happy for you when you have been blessed. And that's all I have for you. And I hope you gleaned some good things. Um, but let's just rejoice with each other and think about the brothers, the Joseph's brothers that, failed, but later on repented and really, wanted to be there for each other. Okay, shalom.